Welcome back to Movie Recap Factory. Today, I will talk about a drama action-adventure film from 2021 titled The Marksman. Without further ado, let's get started. The movie begins with Rosa getting a call from her brother Carlos as his kid Miguel is doing his homework. Carlos instructs Rosa to leave the house because cartel is behind him and will soon find them. The mother and son depart while cartel's goons beat Carlos for crossing him. As a result, Carlos' family will pay for the damage. The movie is then switched to Naco, Arizona, where a former Marine officer named Jim Hanson works at the US-Mexican border in Arizona to watch out for illegal immigrants attempting to enter the country. He notices some nearby and reports it. Jim has few employment options and his house is up for foreclosure. As he buried the ashes of his wife Christine up the hill last year, he doesn't want to leave the house and requests Mr. Neum from the bank for some more time. But Jim has only 90 days or less to pay back. His stepdaughter Sarah, a police officer, is his closest companion and is worried for her father. Cartel and his men run everything across the border, including drugs, people, and guns. She wants her father away from the danger, besides keeping his country safe all by himself. After taking him back home, Sarah tries to comfort him and puts him to sleep. The following day, when Jim was patrolling at the border, Miguel accidentally approaches in front of his car while he is crossing the border to escape from cartel's goons. Seeing Mexican natives across the border, Jim calls the border patrol to take action. However, Rosa begs not to inform anybody about their presence. As they talk, Mauricio Guerrero arrives with his thugs and tells Jim to hand over Rosa and her son. When Jim refuses their orders, they begin to shoot at them. Although Jim manages to escape with Rosa and Miguel, Rosa gets injured in the firing and dies. Before dying, she gives Jim an address to her cousin, Chico, and begs him to take care of her son. Mauricio's brother also loses his life in the attack. After the police and paramedics arrive, Sarah tells Jim that the kid will be sent to holding in Nogales and end up in foster care. Another police officer, Diaz, informs Jim that the boy holds him responsible for his mother's death. Feeling broken inside, Jim heads his way back home. Later at night, when Jim comes by the police station to make the statement, he falls asleep in the car, where he later finds Rosa's bag full of money. He wakes up and witnesses Mauricio and his goons across the border. Suspecting a danger, Jim rushes to the police station and learns that Miguel will be deported back to Mexico on Mexican authorities' orders. To rescue the little kid, Jim requests the officer to let him see Miguel. As the officer leaves the room to get a call, Jim successfully takes Miguel with him, stating that he is not safe here. Mauricio has seen him going and decides to try to cross the border legally. After picking up a gun and essentials from the house, Jim heads to the car only to find that Miguel has gone. Soon he finds the kid and is now driving his way to Chicago to drop him there at his uncle's. After checking Jim's home and taking his belongings, Mauricio sets the house on fire. As Miguel can't understand English, Jim tries to communicate through signs and asks if he is hungry. Although Miguel is still upset about his mother's death, he can't say no to the food as he might not have eaten a meal in a day. Jim takes a map book and continues his journey to Chicago. Before leaving the gas station, he calls Sarah and tells her not to worry. Sarah orders to bring the kid back as the people behind his mother's death are not naive but strong enough to burn down Jim's house. Hearing this, Jim hangs up the phone. Back in the car, Jim bursts out his anger at Miguel for illegally entering America and creating a mess in his life. Miguel responds that he doesn't want to be in this country, revealing that he can speak English. He wants Jim to take him to the border, from where he will find a way back home. However, as instructed by Miguel's mother, Jim warns him about the danger and convinces him to travel to Chicago. After searching for Jim, Mauricio learns about Jim's recent location at a gas station. He loads the gears and decides to follow him. Due to the penetration of bullets inside the car, the engine starts to release steam. The car mechanics tell Jim to change the radiator, which can take 2 days. As he can't wait that long, he instructs the mechanic to patch the radiator up that will allow them to reach their destination. At a restaurant, Jim calls Mr. Neum and assures him that he will pay back the loan in a few days. Later, he inquires about the men, to which Miguel responds that his uncle Carlos did something that made cartel mad, compelling them to leave their country. Whenever Jim uses his card to pay, Mauricio's men get the location of him and Miguel on their computer, making it easy for Mauricio to track them. As Jim and Miguel engage in a conversation, they are pulled over by a police officer who now wants to talk to the boy alone just to ensure he is okay. Instead of speaking to the boy, the officer calls someone and orders Jim to get back in the truck. When Jim witnesses the black car coming their way, he inquires to the police officer how much he got paid to betray his police badge. As he is working for Mauricio, Jim knocks him down and manages to escape. Mauricio approaches and kills the officer for his negligence. After losing his gun in the officer's car, Jim tries to buy another one, but it will take a day or two as the shop's computer is down. Jim informs the owner about being chased by some goons who will soon find him. Hearing the story, the shop owner decides to help Jim and hands him over a new gun with ammo. Jim again calls Sarah and learns that the kid's uncle stole money from cartel. Mexican police found him dead under the bypass. Sarah continues that Jim has killed Mauricio's brother, and now Mauricio will follow him until he kills the murderer. Hearing about Mauricio's shady background, Jim decides to bring the kid back. He informs Sarah of his location. She is now on her way to rescue them. Jim decides to spend the night in a hotel where Miguel tells him about his childhood crush, whom he will marry. When he inquires Jim about his wife, Jim unfolds that he lost Christine to cancer. As they are about to sleep, Jim witnesses Mauricio's men are searching for him in the adjacent building. But before they can reach the room, Jim calls 911 and escapes from the room. Saying that Jim has killed his brother and will not hide from him for too long, Mauricio leaves the area. When Jackson tries to attack him, Mauricio shoots him dead. Reaching Oklahoma, Jim buries the dog and bursts his anger on Miguel as he has lost a companion. Furious, Miguel informs Jim about his awareness of his mother's money and runs away into the woods. After rescuing the kid, Jim tells him he was wrong when he thought he could save Miguel from the goons. But now, they must call off their plan and return to the police station. Without uttering a word, Miguel boards the car with him. For Miguel's mental relief and to freshen up his belief, Jim takes him to the church where the father prays for Rosa. Later, the father inquires if he is Miguel's grandfather, to which Jim responds that he only knew his mother, who requested him to take care of his son. Saying that Rosa might have a lot of faith in Jim, the father leaves the church, giving Jim something to think deeper. Seeing the boy's condition again, Jim calls Sarah and informs her that he will not bring the kid back. As instructed by Miguel's mother, Jim decides to take him to Chicago. Meanwhile, the goons have learned about Jim's plan to reach Chicago after witnessing a red circle on his map. Seeing this, Mauricio decides to send a group of thugs on Jim. On the other hand, Jim teaches Miguel to use the gun in an emergency. Miguel tells Jim about his life's aim of killing Mauricio and his men, to which Jim responds that his mother died to give him a better life. He should not waste it on something that has no worth. At night, Jim returns Rosa's money to Miguel, stating it belongs to him. However, Miguel refuses to take it, as this is cartel's money. After learning this, both burn the money for catharsis and continue their journey to Miguel's uncle's place. Mauricio's thugs wait for Jim at a bridge near Chicago and inform Mauricio about their arrival. Mauricio is 5 miles ahead of Jim and turns back to attack. Jim manages to see the danger and immediately drives away. Because of their speed, the car engine starts to blow, making them get out of the car. Using his sniper, Jim attacks the vehicle, resulting in the driver's death on the spot. The car crashes, giving Jim the time to hide. After killing another thug, Jim instructs Miguel to create a distraction by shooting twice the other way. Before Miguel can do anything, his foot slips, making it easy for Mauricio to locate him. Taking Miguel hostage, Mauricio compels Jim to drop his weapon. He informs Jim that one day Miguel will fight for them as he did, saying that Miguel will kill his first victim today. Mauricio makes him shoot Jim, as Jim has already taught the kid how to use the gun. Miguel releases the magazine, allowing him to escape. However, the bullet in the gun enables Mauricio to shoot at Jim. Both engage in a fight, after which Jim successfully knocks him down with a gunshot. Jim spares his life and makes him decide his fate. Before Miguel and Jim can leave, Mauricio attempts suicide. Later, Miguel and Jim take a lift from a pickup truck and reach Chicago. He takes the little kid to his uncle's home, where his relatives warmly welcome him. After giving him a badge, Jim leaves to head back to Arizona. The movie ends with Jim boarding the bus while noticing bullet wounds in his abdomen. He smiles and sets off on a journey toward his wife. If you have already watched this movie, share your reviews with us in the comments below. Before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe.